Hello, good evening. This is episode 13 plus 1 of the Yascast. With me, Yaseen, your ever lovely host, and my good friend and sister, Mayu, who is at Mayu at hecking.how. Hecking.how. There's no G, is there, Mayu?
There's no G.
Yep, so that's Mayu. Say hello to everyone.
Hi.
Oh, that's so adorable. How you doing, Mayu?
I'm doing great. Actually, not very EP right now, which is kind of rare for me. Although I will probably get EP later.
You're so excited to be on here that you can't contain it. You're just so excited.
yeah, I am.
Well, it's lovely to have you here. We've been waiting on this episode for quite a while now, haven't we?
Yeah, I think since March or something.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah. Because you asked me, I think, back in March, and I was like, oh yeah, sure, we can like totally put you in for like a little bit later. And then like some stuff happened with you, and we had to push it back. And I said, oh, okay, well, we can push it back to season 2. But we didn't have to because I managed to rearrange episodes and stuff, and now you're here, the penultimate episode of this season. By the way, how do you feel about that?
I think that's a pretty special place, and I like being special, so I'm glad.
So yeah, lovely viewers. There's only one more episode after this one, and that'll be the end of season 1 of the Yascast. I can't believe we've actually made it this far. I mean, this is the 14th episode 13 plus 1. I mean, nearly 15 episodes. Like, that's incredible. I don't think I never thought we'd get this far, to be honest. I thought I would really probably like burn out at maybe like episode like I don't know, like 10 or something. But we've gotten to episode 14 today, which I think is very, very cool.
Yeah, and I think when did the SCAS start? Was that October last year?
Yeah, I think the first episode was like October or something like that. Yeah, no. So the idea obviously has been around for quite a while. I think the first like thoughts I had of it was like in the summer, in around about July, and I think the first episode was around about October. So that's October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. Oh my god, that's nearly that's what? That's 8 months of the Yascast. That's insane. So that's like that's like I can't believe it. 8 months. That's like a little over 3 episodes each month on average, right?
Yeah. I remember there been like way more episodes released at first, and then it was like more like 1 episode a month.
Yeah. Because at the beginning, I was doing it like once a week, and like that was that was not sustainable. I don't think I could continue doing. I think that's probably what it was. Is that doing it once a week was like really stressful. Not that like anyone would mind if it was delayed a little bit, but like on a personal level, doing it once a week felt really good. But it was like a lot of work to do. But now that I've moved to a schedule that's more like as and when, I think that's really much better. And hey, I guess it's a surprise when a new episode drops. Like those YouTubers who only upload like once every like 8 months or something, and they like
Yeah.
disappear, and then they come back. And it's like, oh my god, it's a new video from this guy that I haven't like seen in a while. Like I remember this one YouTuber, they posted again, like after like a couple of years, I'd forgotten about them for like a couple of years. And they'd posted again. They had a new voice, and I was like, oh, maybe they switched like maybe the channel switched to a new person, or like they got someone else to do the voice for this episode. And then it turns out like they transitioned in like the time period between the last time I watched them and the next time I watched them. So it was the same person, but they'd obviously done like the voice training and the transitioning and all that stuff. And I think that's really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. I thought of H Bomber guy, which is someone that uploads,
Yeah.
very rarely. And then when he uploads a video, it's like, how long was the last video? 3 hours?
3.5 hours. Yeah, I watched the whole thing. I was like, okay, fine. Everyone is saying this is an amazing video, so I guess I'll watch it. Because I'm like, I mean, who has the time to watch like a 3.5 hour video? But I thought, well, I can just like watch it at work while doing like work stuff. And his videos are a great companion to doing things during the day because he presents them in a really, I guess, accessible way, like these profound, deep topics, but he expresses himself in a very articulate but composed way that just sticks in your head.
Yeah, and I remember everyone was talking about it, and and he ruined several careers with that video. So
I mean,
yeah,
hey,
that's
those
fun.
careers were already ruined. He just exposed it.
There was this one guy, I don't remember what was his name, but
James Summerton?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
his Wikipedia article literally has a redirect to H Bomber's guy Wikipedia article.
Oh my god, no way. I gotta look this up right now. I'm looking this up right now. Okay. Wikipedia English. Right. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so I'm typing James Summerton into the Wikipedia search bar now.
Yeah.
James Summerton. Oh my god. Even typing James Summerton into the search bar will immediately bring up like a little preview card for H Bomber Guy. So it's not even a redirect. It just you type the name in and then boom, that's it. It's H Bomber Guy. I mean, where is it? Oh right, it's the under contents page. The plagiarism video is the second like subsection. And James Summerton gets basically like a whole paragraph to himself. And then that's it. Oh, wow. Oh, okay, hang on. On 5th of March 2024, Summerton posted an apparent suicide note.
Yeah, there was something like that.
Oh, but he was later confirmed to be safe on 11th of March. Okay, well, hopefully, I mean, that's a pretty hard ending for this section about James Summerton.
To be honest, I do sort of feel a little bit bad for that guy. Even like, imagine having your career ruined, and the guy who ruined your career, like his article is pointed to by what was supposed to be your article.
That's true. Yeah, no. I mean, yeah, like, no, I don't think you're wrong for feeling like that. It's not wrong to feel like that because obviously you'd always feel sorry for someone who gets stuck in that kind of situation. It's unfortunate that it happened to him. I think that's what you're feeling, like kind of like, oh yeah, this is like unfortunate. But it's not exactly. But he deserved it. Unfortunate or not, it is unfortunate when something bad happens to someone, like in any case. But just because it's fortunate doesn't mean it's not deserved, like it is for James Summerton.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, you are exactly right. I wish I could be like on the level of H Bomber Guy. That would be pretty cool. I mean, we are both British, so maybe that's what it takes.
I mean, I'm not sure. Do you want to be like canceling people on the Fediverse?
I mean, I don't think I've really cancelled anyone. I mean, like I've been outspoken in the past, but I don't think I've cancelled anyone. To be honest, I don't think I would do that. I feel like if I needed to cancel someone, I'd like not do anything about it. Because I mean, like there obviously has been some people who I think like are worth calling out. But unless it's like a big deal, like do you remember the Eve incident or was that kind of out of your sphere of like
Oh,
knowledge?
I actually do know that one. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was like a thing that I was kind of tangentially involved in, but like not in a direct way. But yeah, I don't think I don't think it's my style anyway. But actually, no, yeah, I'm pretty happy just being where I am. I think that's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I think fedi has enough meta and fedi block
Oh god,
stuff. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, very recently, I decided to invent my own meta a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
So, so do you remember when everyone was talking about like bottle lids?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. For like a while, people like when I say a while, I mean like a few hours. People were discussing the merits of those bottle caps you have, and they're attached to the rim,
Yeah.
the new ones. So I decided to make a post saying, "Oh my god, I can't believe that people are really discussing the value of like bottle caps that are attached to the rim."
Oh yeah.
And like no one was talking about it before. Like no one had said anything at all. In fact, I think like one person maybe said something, but no one has actually no one no one created discourse about it. You know what I mean? And I just by saying that there was discourse about this topic, I had created the discourse about the topic.
Yeah, actually, that thing is it was introduced by some EU regulation at the beginning of this year. And to be honest, it really depends of the brand of the like bottle, whatever. Because I had some that were made so bad that they basically came off, but not the way they were supposed to. But
Right.
but like
Yeah, I know.
like the plastic parts were just scratching my mouth when I was trying to drink from it, and that's not nice.
Oh, yeah, I hate that.
So yeah.
I hate that. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, honestly, like my opinion on bottle lids is that sometimes they can work. Like there's this like water bottle brand and they have it so that the lid folds all the way around flat against the mouth of the bottle. So it's really easy to drink. But then some of them like Coca-Cola and stuff, like the lid only goes like a little bit.
Yeah.
And it makes it really annoying to drink.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Technically now there's an actual difference between different water brands.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, water bottles really are a scam, aren't they?
Yeah.
I remember reading a while back, to make a whole liter of water, you need the whole process requires 7 liters of water.
Yeah, that's
which that's a lot of weight, and that's not including like the water inside a bottle. And I find it crazy there's so much like waste involved in the process of making a bottle of water.
Yeah, that sounds really ridiculous. Like, well, a lot of things in capitalism.
Yeah, a lot of things are ridiculous in capitalism, including the very like concept of bottled water. I feel like in like an ideal like world, I guess, we would have like water fountains everywhere and everyone would have their own bottle that they could fill up.
Yeah, in some like poor countries like Haiti, they sell water in plastic bags to save on production costs.
Wow.
And well, Haiti also is generally like an absolute mess of a country, and there's absolutely no like garbage collection system.
Right.
So basically, there's a lot of those plastic bags flying around. Like most of the trash are just the plastic bags themselves. And I heard of some people there that collect those plastic bags and make some useful stuff out of them, like actual bags, and that's pretty cool.
Haiti is a very interesting country because of its history. Like it was founded on a slave revolt. So they overthrew their French colonial masters and became their own independent state. But they had the sacrifice they made was that they would have to pay the French government like a whole bunch of money to buy their independence. So either they kept being a slave colony forever, or they paid debt. And obviously, like in that sense, like the choice is clear. Like I'd rather be a free person indebted than a slave beholden to someone else. I mean, the reality, of course, is like kind of like it's. I mean, being indebted is only slightly less worse than slavery.
Yeah.
So I can understand why they made that decision. Like I'd think the same thing. But I think it's absolutely atrocious that Haiti still owes that debt to its colonial masters, and because of that, they've been immensely poor for a very, very, very long time. Because that just sets like the like their history, right? It's something that sets their path. If they had to pay off this debt, they can't invest in anything else, and then the country is just completely shambolic. I mean, right now it is run by the gangs. There's very little political accountability at the moment, and there's like some sort of transitional council going on in Haiti right now, but the gangs want representation on this council. But of course, why would they get that? Because they aren't really. I mean, that no one chose the gangs.
Yeah.
The gangs only rose up because, for many young people, that's the only way that they can exert their political control, or social control in many cases. You know what I mean, which is happening on a smaller scale in many other countries, but in Haiti, it's everything. But hopefully, you know, Haiti can get out of its rut and develop and advance, and they'll have actual like sewage collection.
Yeah.
But that is one thing Haiti does have in common with Dubai.
Yeah, real.
Like the Burj Khalifa, despite being like the tallest building in the world or whatever, still requires poop trucks to collect the poop from the sewage.
Yeah, that's because pretty much Dubai is built on sand, and doing anything like underground is really, really hard and inconvenient. And there shouldn't be a city in there, but well, yeah.
Dubai is a monument to hubris.
Also, the artificial islands that are disappearing.
Yeah, they're disappearing. I think that's even funnier that they spent all this money on these crappy islands and they're just sinking into the waters. They're being reclaimed back by the sea. I mean, I've been to Dubai a few times, mostly on layovers, but a couple of times I've been there because the layover was long enough. So I was like, okay, well, I might as well like we explore this. One time my connecting flight got bungled, so I was supposed to connect the flight back to here, and my flight arrived later than my connecting flight was departing. So the next flight was like the next day, and you know the airline put me and my family up in a hotel the day, and like basically let us. And I was like, okay, well we're here, might as well explore Dubai. And Dubai is like on the surface, it is incredibly shiny and glitzy and glamorous and like made of glass. But even at like I was like 15 or 16 or something, but even like then, you could tell that it was lacking like everything. Like I remember walking outside and there was like no one at all. Like the streets were busy with cars and stuff, but like there's no one like walking or doing anything. And and it feels like a really, really fake city. It feels like it's the worst of like American suburbanization with the excess of like any big city.
Mm.
And it's just so soulless, and that's not going into like the human rights violations of foreign workers that they have there. Like that
Yeah.
is, a complete, that's like on another level. But like just like on a surface level kind of exploration, like just thinking about it like laterally, Dubai just isn't a real place to me. It doesn't have anything besides its wealth and its like artificial like value. It only exists because of oil, right? It only exists because it's a monument to how much oil money these Arab kingdoms have. And it's like, who wants to sincerely live here? Like, you see, like, I keep getting videos from people who live in Dubai as expats. They're like, oh wow, Dubai is such a clean, safe, friendly city. Everyone is so nice and whatever. I was like, well, I mean, one, it's extremely wealthy. Two, if anyone is homeless, they just get pushed out of the spotlight. And three, just because you are treated well because you have money.
Yeah, that's basically the thing about Dubai.
And that's basically it. It is like the worst of kind of everything. The worst kind of like it is like, it's like someone who wears a gold chain to look really cool when it just looks tacky. It is essentially like a Disneyland for adults, I suppose.
Oh yeah, that's a really good comparison, actually.
But at least like Disneyland has law. Like Dubai has no law. Like there is no history there. At least Disneyland has like a real has like a real like thing behind it. But yeah, it is very Disneyland. A very unfun Disneyland if you're like a very bored 16-year-old.
Yeah. To be fair, there's an older part of Dubai that doesn't have all those skyscrapers.
Yeah.
And like,
yeah, I did go there.
Yeah, I guess
it's very cool.
Feels like just I don't know, just like a regular Middle Eastern city, I guess.
Yeah, it did have. I went to the old town because my mom wanted to buy some jewelry or whatever, and there was like some cool souk there or whatever. And it was really nice. The like it felt like a real. This is like a real like town, like a real city. Like the. But I imagine as Dubai has developed, the old town has kind of probably been pushed out. I mean,
well, yeah, definitely.
That's the thing with these overly gentrified. I mean, that's what it is. This is like gentrification, but like on like a cultural, like a countrywide level. That's what oil money gets you. It doesn't seem to get you any smarts, but it does get you a lot of wealthy expats.
Yeah, that or lots of corruption and generally bad stuff.
Oh yeah, you'll get jailed for anything.
Yeah.
Insulting the monarch, of course. That's a big one to get upset about.
Yeah.
The only real good thing I can say about Dubai is that the first thing I ate when we left the hotel to visit. So when we left the hotel in our unscheduled stopover was KFC, and it was really good.
Oh.
That's all I can really say is that this was the best tasting American fast food I have eaten outside of this country.
Oh, that's fair. Like back when I was still when I still was eating meat, like I tried out KFC I think I only tried KFC in Poland and Spain, and like Spanish KFC is for some reason terrible. They have a funny Twitter account. I don't know if they still have it, but there was they posting memes, and I guess that's the only good thing about it.
Oh my god, you just remind me. Yeah, I remember one time the KFC Spanish account posted a meme, and it was I don't know if you've seen the film A Clockwork Orange.
And
No. Okay. Well, A Clockwork Orange is a dystopian novel where the main character is like a fan of the ultra violent, and he is just a generally unpleasant person in many ways. And there's an infamous scene in the film what KFC Hispania did was they superimposed the Colonel's face over the main character, therefore implying that the Colonel was a psychopathic murderer and rapist.
Oh.
Which, yeah, okay. And you know what? To be honest, I feel like maybe if they did that with Patrick Bateman instead, and it was like the year 2023, it probably would have worked out a lot better. Like, I feel like if A Clockwork Orange was as mimetic as American Psycho, you bet there'll be so many like conservative young men who think that that guy is literally him.
Yeah.
So Mayu, it has been. I mean, it's been 25 minutes. I need to ask you the ultimate question I ask every guest, which is So tell me how you found out about the Fediverse and what is your experience of the Fediverse been? So obviously, I know you've moved around quite a bit. But when did you first get started, and how did you feel, and all that kind of stuff?
Okay, I will quickly check for the accurate date because it's on my old account. It's April of 2022. So, damn.
Oh, so before me.
Damn, technically I've been on the Fediverse for over 2 years. Wow.
That's crazy. That's a long time.
So the way it started, I remember I was in the Discord server of the Linux Experiment, which is a YouTube channel about Linux news and stuff. And well, the Discord server is not really all that related to the channel anymore, but it is still a Discord server. And some of my friends there discovered this cool instance called Tech LGBT, and we just registered on there, and that's when I made that account on Fediverse. And technically speaking, I did know about the whole Mastodon thing, maybe even Pleroma. Actually, I did come across, I think that was the Blobcat instance at some point. But yeah, it seemed pretty, I don't know, kind of some places gave me red flags, but considered they were Pleroma instances, it is possible they were actually bad instances. Although I'm not sure. I'm actually not sure if Blobcat was a bad. Actually, I'm not sure if it doesn't still exist.
No, Blob.cat still exists.
Yeah. Not sure if it's bad though, but I did see some not too good stuff, so I was a bit put off by the Fediverse thing for that for time being. But then I registered on TechLGPT and it was cool. And honestly, I didn't really start using it until maybe until like a year later. So yeah, technically speaking, I haven't been on Fedi for all that long, but after I started using it, I don't even remember how it went.
That's really cool. Okay, so you really kind of started posting around about a year ago.
Yeah, about a year ago on TechLGPT. I know I only started getting some cool Fedi friends like around summer vacation, I guess. When
me.
Oh, that's awesome! And I met you probably at sometime around then. Yeah, and it was a nice time at TechLGPT. I totally liked that instance. I still like it. But I moved to my own instance, called abandoned.systems. It's not.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah, it's Well, I'm planning to put up a website on the domain, but the fedi instance is down. Well, I guess I just wanted to try something else than Mastodon. I was kind of missing emoji reactions and stuff. Yeah, like right now, after using iStream for half a year, I guess, looking at Mastodon, like seeing a Mastodon user, I'm just like, for you, like, I should.
Right.
Yeah.
So, what did Abandoned Systems run?
iStream.
Oh, iStream.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And then after that, is that when you moved to Heckin.how?
Yeah, I figured that I don't really feel like hosting my own instance. There were some federation issues. Well, I didn't really have federation issues. Aside from that, I could only see posts from people that I followed personally because that was my single user instance. So I didn't. My capabilities of finding new entities on fedi were really limited, and I guess that's the thing that I didn't like. And yeah, I also didn't quite like that I had to pay quite a lot for that server. So yeah.
Right, and obviously Jagly is a great gal. She's so cool.
Yeah.
So of course it makes sense that you'd end up on Heckin.how.
Yeah, Jagly's cool. Yeah, like her a lot.
She is so nice. I also have an alt on Heckin.how, by the way.
Oh yeah, I mean, you have alts everywhere.
Well, I only have alts on instances that are run by my friends.
Yeah.
That and Jagly, of course, is a great friend, and it only makes sense to be on there. I also primarily joined because I believed it may have like a cache of my posts from Snowden, but it doesn't.
Oh.
So that kind of sucks.
Oh.
Meow Wormcat does have a cache of my posts from 000, which is great. But it's not really that useful since I already have an archive of all those posts. But in terms of my Snowden stuff, like that's gone forever. All that just disappeared into the ether.
Okay.
So if any of you are running an instance that has like a workable search function and is able to index my has indexed my post on Standard Out of Town, please let me know, because I would be really grateful to be able to look up my own posts. That way I can copy and paste them again.
Actually, my silly brain needs a little reminder. Was Snowden before OWO?
Yeah. Sony was before OWO.
Okay.
Yeah. After Mastodon.lol and before 0w0.
Yeah. I remember listening about it in the episode with that was the episode with you that I was listening to on an ICE train, and okay, Wi-Fi on the train was absolutely terrible, and I basically couldn't listen to music because silly me doesn't have. Well, actually, I do have some music saved locally, but not too much. So I just figured I'm gonna listen to a podcast instead of music, and well, that worked a little bit better, but it was still a little bit annoying in some areas. The train just stopped in the middle of nowhere, and there was no Wi-Fi for like 10 minutes, and that just nothing would load. I would be 10 minutes in silence while the train is not even going anywhere. Like that's the Deutsche Bahn experience, really.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, if you listen to this and you're like, oh wow, Yaseen sounds much better, that's because I have a brand new microphone. So before I would sound like this. This is my old microphone, which is mounted on a headset. So I would sound like this. And now I sound like this. I sound much better. I hope. Do I sound better? I mean, I hope. Hopefully, I do.
Well, probably. I think that's possible.
I didn't sound bad like before, obviously, but now I have like an actual, like real studio mic.
Well, yeah, I remember some episodes that had like worse audio quality, but that was pretty random.
Yeah. So now I have a proper mic now. So I have an Elgato Wave Neo, which wasn't that expensive. It was like $80 quid, which is pretty cheap for like a studio level microphone.
Pretty
And
cheap for Elgato stuff.
like, no, right? And I was like, whoa, this is like a steal. And like I could have gotten the Wave 3, but that's like way more expensive. I think like £50 more. And I was like, well, I mean, I'll try this out because it has quite a nice. It's really lightweight and the styling is quite nice. And it sounds good. Hopefully, the listener can tell that. The one thing I did try was I tried using it connected to my work laptop to make phone calls over MS Teams.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems that Teams' audio codec or compression or whatever is so bad that it makes this microphone sound no different to the inbuilt microphone in the laptop.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised if they had some like really low beat rates that I'm pretty sure they used Opus just like Discord, but which actually remains like it's a really good codec. It keeps pretty good quality until decently low beat rate, especially if we're talking about just voice. But I would imagine that Microsoft would like to save on everything, and I feel like the MS Teams audience does not really care about audio quality all that much.
Oh yeah. I agree. I agree with you on that. Yeah, I mean, Opus is a really good codec. It preserves it, I mean, especially for speech. Mm-hmm. You're exactly right about that. But yeah, I would think the same is true. Or maybe just like my IT team decided to turn the bit rate all the way down or whatever. Yeah, I think what's really like interesting that you mentioned that most people wouldn't care. And I think I agree. Like I fall into that camp. Like I remember like in the height of the pandemic, like the work from home boom, you would always see articles about, oh, here's how to like, you know, the best webcam or the best like microphone and stuff for your like video conferencing, whatever. And to me, like I was like thinking, would anyone like care that you look better on video or sound better on audio? Yeah. I mean, unless you're like a professional performer or whatever, like I generally would not care. Yeah. I mean, the amount of time you get to like you spend most of your time on mute, right? And you barely want anyone else to see your video. And even if they do see your video, these video conferencing platforms are designed for like stability rather than performance. So your video is going to be sent at like 320p or something, no matter what kind of camera you use. I really could not care less what kind of webcam my colleague uses.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, usually, well, if they have a laptop, then they just use the built-in camera. Which
exactly, and like that's good enough for me. I think even if it's like 720p, like if I can see you and make out your facial features, that's good enough, right?
Yeah.
So now you're on Heckin' How, and that's it. So how are you finding your time on the
fedi? And to be honest, it is pretty nice for most of the time. I actually find it really crazy how the how good fedi works for dating. Like
oh yeah, okay. Well, come on, tell me then, Mayu, the player.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, if you're poly, then then you're basically gonna find someone immediately. If you're not poly, then I guess it's a little bit harder. Well, it also depends on like how picky. Well, just your approach to relationship in general, because like a lot of people on fedi are just like falling in love with like at first sight with cute trans girls, which is fair. It is like valid, of course, although it's not like I'm not really that way. And
sure.
Even with that, it did work pretty well for me. Like So, like back in September, I was I found my first. It was generally my second girlfriend ever. I found her on Fedi, or rather, she found me actually, and that was pretty cool.
Was that Vay?
Huh? Yeah.
Was that
Yeah,
Vay?
yeah. I mean, yeah, we broke up not that long ago, but like soon after, I basically started, let's say, being crushed on by a whole lot of creatures, and
Right.
yeah, like there was also like the thing like I would focus on is that I did find someone that seemed pretty cool to me, and I ended up DMing them, and we ended up DMing more and more and more, and kind of falling in love with each other. Although it did not work out in the end because of some
Sucks.
of now like carry issues, but like it generally could work out if it was close to working out, let's say. So yeah. And from then on, actually, it was ever since I broke up with Vay, I guess, that I had some people, not only people, like some entities coming and crashing on me with, and I was like, I was, I am honestly pretty confused about relationships and what I want from partner, like, because I'm not poly. I do not see myself as poly, and I don't think that will change anytime soon. And
Sure.
that's pretty like, yeah. And the cute trans girls that are crashing on me, they kind of, well, to be fair, I had a few of them recently, and like, it's really happy, but also like I do feel bad because I'm just not sure if I'll be able to like give the feeling back. So, but yeah, like, okay, yeah, something like that, I guess.
Okay. I mean, that's totally fair enough. Like, that's your prerogative.
Yeah.
You know, and obviously I'm here to support you in your journey, you know, as your big sibling, of course.
Yes,
And
nice.
I will and of course I will crush anyone that dares to touch you, actually.
Yeah. That's lovely.
I mean, it makes sense though. It makes sense. You are extremely cute. In fact, it's true. In fact, if it was possible, I would like turn you into a plushie and sell you. And like, if I could sell Mayu plushies, I would honestly like make millions straight away. Like, in fact, if I were to do is I'd sell like the first one for like €100, right?
That's quite a lot.
Well, I mean, it's the highest quality Mayu.
Well, I guess.
And the first one would have the least amount of asbestos, of course. And then obviously, and then you know, as I ramp up production, because of course the Mayu plushie will be extremely popular. It would obviously get cheaper over time, but you know, I'm hoping that I could make at least, you know, 1 bajillion euros.
Yeah.
From the Mayu plushie.
Technically speaking, depending on where you live, from like 100 to 200 euro, you can get me a train or plane ticket to your place. So if you want real me, that's possible.
Well, there you go. That's it. If you want Mayu to come be yours for a few days, you can pay for her to come see you. Mayu included in the price, of course.
Yeah.
And speaking of prices, this episode of the Askcast was sponsored by Robin, who gave me £5.
Oh my god, that's cool.
Robin gave me £5 to sponsor this episode. And I have to be a proponent of free market economics. So, dear audience, I'm telling you that free market economics is really cool and has no negative downsides whatsoever. We should just all engage in free market economics, like forever and ever and ever. There should be like no regulation on supply or demand or like anything at all. Just leave it up to the free market. The free market will decide. The freer the market, the freer the people.
And £5 are enough to make you say that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's interesting.
I mean, like honestly, I feel like I mean I would accept any sponsorship except for like BetterHelp. I probably wouldn't accept a sponsorship from BetterHelp.
Would you accept a GX sponsorship?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. I'll accept a sponsorship from Opera GX. I mean, even though I use Firefox, like that's my main thing, Firefox. Maybe I'd get sponsored by Opera GX. I mean, like, is there a problem? Like, besides Opera running on Chromium, is that actually like a problem with Opera GX?
Yeah, actually, there's a pretty big problem with Opera and the company behind Opera. They're doing a lot of shady things.
Oh,
like including.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they're like. Well, I'm pretty sure they are including some spyware in their software, but what they're doing for sure is offering loans to people in like African countries.
What?
Yeah.
What?
And the entire purpose of this is just to get money from people and be an ass to them. Like, yeah, there was a video I watched about that explained it in detail, but they're actually really shady.
Oh wow, that is really shady. Oh my god. Damn. Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess I won't. Okay. So it's BetterHelp and Opera GX that I won't chill for.
Okay.
What else shouldn't I feel like I can't believe web browser is a predatory loan company. Is just something I just wouldn't like. Like I feel like Raid Shadow Legends is the only one that isn't like actually like a straight up scam. Like yeah, it's a shitty game, right? But like at least you know you're getting a game.
Yeah.
Like Opera GX, scam. Established titles, scam. Masterworks, money laundering, probably. Raycons, I guess they suck. Raycons kind of suck, I suppose.
Yeah, they do suck.
The Ridge wallet, that sucks. That sucks really bad. The Ridge wallet.
Also VPNs.
What other things? Oh, VPNs. Yeah. They're like the shady.
Well,
they're all really shit. Like, oh yeah, military grade encryption.
Yeah. To be fair, VPNs are real. They do exist. They do VPN stuff, but there's the issue is with false advertising because like VPN is not gonna protect you from like your password leaking, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like this idea that VPNs kind of shield you is very clearly false, right? Like if I was in like one of those countries where internet use is restricted and monitored, like China, for example, or like Iran, like I feel like I wouldn't be safe using a VPN only because the communications authorities in these countries are sophisticated enough to like go beyond like the VPN, if that makes sense.
Well, technically speaking, the traffic is encrypted. So on the Great Firewall of China thing level, I think the only thing that they possibly can know is that you're using a VPN and block that.
Right. Okay.
Like,
well, that's not good.
Yeah, but there are some dangers that can be in your local network. Like, for example, using a VPN on an open network does not necessarily make you safe because there are ways to perform like some sort of man-in-the-middle attack. Like, I remember seeing an article about that, but I forgot. But it is not actually entirely safe. But outside of if there's nothing in your local network, then I guess you're relatively safe. Well, you're pretty much safe all the way to the VPN servers. And well, what the
Right.
VPN provider servers do, well, that's you gotta trust them, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Like you're moving. I mean, I think that's really it. Like you're moving the trust from the service provider of your connection to the VPN.
Yeah, that's
And
basically
like
it.
they can say that they've been audited, and they can say that they're like zero knowledge and all that kind of stuff. But like you really only have their word for it. And the thing is, like, for example, I remember like Nord had like PricewaterhouseCoopers, I think, do their like investigation. And like that sounds great and all. Like PricewaterhouseCoopers are a big like an agency of this kind of like work. But the thing is that PricewaterhouseCoopers is not entirely independent, right? Because Nord would have had to pay them to do the investigation. And there's an incentive for PricewaterhouseCoopers to publish results that make Nord look good.
Yeah. I guess a better example would, like, a better kind of odd is like when Mulvat got raided by Swedish police at like sometime recently, and they basically left with empty hands. So that's pretty good.
Well, I mean, that's exactly it. Like, if the police come and raid you and they can't find shit,
yeah,
and that is probably the best advertisement you could get.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty good. I would say probably well, from the one VPN providers I know, that's the one I would recommend, I guess. Although, to be honest, I'm not really a cybersecurity creature. I like, especially since this is the Ask, there are people, creatures from fedi listening to this. I'm sure there's someone that knows so much more than me, like probably even many such cases. Yeah, so probably what I'm saying, like, even when I said that your traffic, if your local network is safe, then the traffic is safe all the way to the VPN provider. I suppose there is someone that could say, actually, that's not true. And, well, to be fair, technically it is encrypted. And if there isn't like a hole in the encryption, which there may be, then I guess I don't really see why it wouldn't be safe. Although, what if the data is not encrypted and you don't even know about it because someone tricked you? And I don't know how they would do that, but I guess it may be possible. Yeah, then you're kind of fucked. So I would say that, yeah, I'm not entirely sure about whether you're really 100% safe. Honestly, you're probably never 100% safe.
Right, exactly. Well, I mean, if you're the kind of person who, I think if a state actor wants to get you, then a VPN is like the least of your, like a leaky VPN is like the least of your worries.
Oh, well, yeah, that is true. That's true. Also, there's plenty of metadata like going around. Like, basically, even if your traffic is encrypted, there's always metadata that's not encrypted, and that applies to, well, pretty much all kinds of traffic, like end-to-end encrypted messages, especially on WhatsApp, which collects a lot of metadata. And also recently there was a big case with centralized notification providers, like was the Google, is it now called Firebase or Google Cloud Messaging?
Firebase.
Actually, yeah, and the Apple equivalent. They were collecting metadata, and governments had access to them, and they even found someone that used, I think, Telegram. Well, okay, Telegram is not the best thing to use if you want to be like private, but they did find someone supposedly only based on those metadata from notifications. So yeah, that is insane.
Oh yeah, actually, you just reminded me of something that so in like the US, the text messaging service, so regular SMS, not like RCS
Yeah.
or iMessage, the regular SMS service that is not delivered by the networks, they're delivered by third parties, which means that they have an unencrypted, because SMS isn't encrypted anyway, but they have an unencrypted like storage of like a whole bunch of um text messages. And I think one of these companies had like a breakdown or a hack or something of some kind, and these messages just weren't like. I think it was. I think the company had like a leak or whatever, right? And text messages were suddenly like being revealed en masse when really they shouldn't have been, because it should be up to like the carriers to actually deliver the message. But it turns out these SMS delivery centers, the middlemen, were the ones actually doing like the hard work. And yeah, like these companies just have a whole bunch of text messages that are stored unencrypted that they just have access to, that are linked back to your phone number.
Yeah.
And if anyone ever got access to them, like that's fucking it. Like raiding an ISP is pretty bold in itself. But I imagine these like middlemen kind of places are less scrupulous than the ISPs, only because the ISPs have the spotlight on them from like the government and so on to keep things all tidy. But these third parties will have none of the same kind of oversight.
Yeah, even worse, like generally SMS messages and phone calls as well aren't encrypted at all. And yeah, like technically speaking, that means that while your phone is communicating with the cell tower, someone could listen into that communication. So yeah, like honestly, I do not really feel comfy with the regular SMS messages and phone calls. And I say that while talking on Discord. Yeah, I guess.
Oh yeah, that's right. So just in case you guys are like, oh, things will sound weirdly different. So the studio app that I've been using to host the previous episodes of the podcast has decided to charge me money. And I don't really like paying for things. So I am now currently talking to Mayu on Discord. So if anything happens to Mayu's recording on her end, then this episode is completely fucked. So Mayu, please, fingers crossed that your computer doesn't die.
Yeah, I'm silly, so I hope nothing happens. Also, oh yeah, so you have like in previous episodes you didn't use Discord.
No, in previous episodes I've been using like a studio set, like a digital studio.
Okay.
Only because the studio would record the audio. So obviously the guests would record their audio too. So I'd have two separate sources of audio. So in case anything happened, like I was like double secure. But since they decided that they would charge me for the privilege, we are gonna fall back to the old classic of using Discord to communicate and having you record, and hopefully things are okay, which is good. You went to GPN.
Oh yeah, I did.
For those of the audience who aren't in the know, can you explain a little bit about what GPN is?
Okay, so GPN is Gulasch Programmieren Nacht. So that means Gulasch Programming Night, which means it is like
goulash.
Yeah, goulash.
like the dish.
Yeah, like the dish. So technically, it's named after goulash that they give out. It's actually vegan. I did not see it, but I probably wasn't looking hard enough. Apparently, they were only doing it like one evening, but I guess I just wasn't there that evening, so...
Wait. Yeah. So it's named after goulash, but they only gave out goulash on like one evening?
Yeah. I mean, okay, that's fair. They're limited by their budget. I would not like shame them on that. But yeah, like it is a hacker event organized by Entropia, which is a hacker space in Karlsruhe, which is a city in Germany that's known for having probably the highest like percentage of nerdy trans girls out of all cities in Germany. Yeah, and it is organized once a year, like usually like around May, I guess. It was at the end of May and lasted from it was from Thursday to Sunday. So it lasted 4 days.
Okay.
Yeah. And generally the thing is like there are like some talks. There's the launch when there are like various artists doing weird kinds of music or music like things that like noise stuff. Like just that was crazy. A few times I went there, it was absolutely fucking insane. And I wasn't always in the mood to enjoy that, but like if I was, I would love that. There were also some like talks. Most of them were actually in German, but there were some in English as well. I actually didn't come to any talk because I don't know, it just kind of ended up being like this. And yeah, during that time, there's like a convention center reserved for the event. There's like a lot of benches with creatures sitting with their laptops and stuff and doing stuff, and it's pretty cool. And yeah, apparently it was this year's addition to add a quiet area. I went there to the quiet area, and holy shit, it is like sensory heaven. It's absolutely the best thing I've ever seen.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like it's absolutely so quiet, and they made sure to like they made sure to make it as comfy of an experience as possible, and it really worked.
That's really cool. So, did you experience anything else at DPN?
Well, for me, GPN was mostly hanging out with my friends. I met some cool creatures from Fedi. Like, I did take a picture of Mia. That's also now public on Fedi, and I think that's the only public selfie of me on Fedi for now. uh, yeah, so you can see how I look, I guess. Like it was pretty insane to see all those creatures, like cool looking creatures, the all the nerdy trans girls, and also like NBs and boys and cis girls and stuff. Like everyone is included, but like just all those weird, nerdy, cool creatures from Fedi in reality. That was pretty crazy to see. And I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed meeting the ones that I did. I I do wish I met more, but I mean, I was satisfied with that. Although, yeah, I didn't spend really all my stay like in Karlsruhe at GPN. Well, GPN. Sorry, I'm calling it GPN because that's how you call it in German. So,
Right.
and
Okay.
yeah, someone made me switch to that. So okay, but also GPN now. Actually, most of the stay in Karlsruhe, where GPN is held, wasn't at the event itself. I mostly just spent evenings in there. I was also hanging out with friends around Karlsruhe and riding trains because I love riding trains and public transport in general. I also went on a few buses actually and trams. So yeah, we went to Freiburg as well, which is supposed to be a Dutch-like city. Like there was this one YouTuber that makes videos about urbanism that really praised this city, and this YouTuber is called Not Just Bikes. And I went to that city and felt, oh my god, this is really just like a Dutch city. Like overcrowded, like overstimulating, overwhelming. I guess they have trams. Yeah, like as expected of Not Just Bikes.
So was Not Just Bikes wrong?
Well, the thing with Not Just Bikes is that he likes like idealizing places in Europe.
He does.
And that's
he does, doesn't
that's
he?
exactly.
He has this kind of.
That's exactly.
He has this kind of like. How to explain it? It's like this Anglo expat in Europe vibes. If you're from the European continent, you know exactly like what I'm describing to you. Like this English speaking person from the English speaking world who visits the European continent and it just like becomes like a simp basically. And I feel like that's Not Just Bikes' like whole thing. Like he will be like, oh wow, this place is like some sort of he's not like entirely wrong when he says stuff. Like he's not inaccurate in most cases, but he does have a tendency to like be really idealistic about what he's observing. Like in the example you stated, he's like, oh, this is like a Dutch city in Germany, and your experience was actually this place is really crowded and really like just awful. It's nothing like what he said.
Well, yeah, this is basically. Yeah, I was pretty disappointed, but they had a Pepsi tram, which was pretty funny.
Oh, cool! Like a Pepsi advert?
Yeah, Pepsi advert on a tram. I did post it on Fedi at some point. So yeah, I guess it should be easily find. Yes, it is. Yeah, if you go to my profile, you should see it. Well, at least on my instance, depends on where it federates as well.
Of course.
Well, I mean, talking about the viewer, I guess if they want to check out my profile, then it has the Pepsi tram posted 3 weeks ago. So
well, there you go. If you want to see pictures of trams, please head over to Mayu at heckin.how right now to take a look.
Yeah, by Pepsi tram. Well, I mean, honestly, I think probably those trams were probably public trams with Freiburg is probably pretty good. I mean, I generally do prefer Kazuha in general, but I do also know someone that absolutely shitted on Kazuha a lot, and they in turn were praising Strasbourg, where I did not go because it's in France, and my I only had German tickets, and technically I could go there for like €10 from okay, because I'm getting sidetracked. I actually will reach that point because I wanted to say that I also, aside from going to Freiburg with friends, also on the train back we played Uno, and that was probably the most fun experience I had like in really a while. Like that was so much fun. Holy shit!
Oh, that's cute. Playing Uno on the train.
Yeah,
Uno really does cross cultural boundaries, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing is more satisfying than hitting someone with the +4.
Yeah, especially on a train where they are just. Yeah, that was funny. I remember like other passengers just looking at us and being like, "Ha, what the hell?" And yeah, I guess part of that was because I was wearing a respirator, and that also does attract stares. But yeah,
right. Yeah. Does that mean Mayu is the next Walter White?
Well, I cannot say that. I think. But well, before I get so sidetracked, I also went to Baden-Baden one day. That was alone, actually.
So nice they named it twice.
Yeah, Baden-Baden. There's that. Baden-Baden. Baden-Baden implies the existence of Duschen.
What?
Baden-Baden implies the existence of Duschen. Because Baden means like a bath and Duschen means shower. So yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. And honestly, it was like the most beautiful little, well, not that little, but just generally town that I went to like probably ever. And holy shit, I really do want to take a special someone there someday. And yeah, that's really
me.
Yeah, yes, you, Yaseen, you're going, of course.
Exactly.
Of course, it's you, yes, yeah. Well, maybe someone else as well, but yes, he is going for sure.
Great. That's wonderful. I'm glad. Yes, of course. I mean, I would love to spend time with you, Mayu. You are really cool. It was so fun. I
I'm really
think.
glad to hear that. And also the last thing, I went to some small French border town. I went to France. Technically, I've been in France now, I can say. But it was kind of a surreal experience because the train station looked like it was abandoned, and that was funny. And the trains also looked like they were abandoned. And the trains to Strasbourg from there costed like 10 euros. So technically, I could go there, but I didn't. I didn't really have time. I was supposed to meet someone on that day that I didn't meet, mostly because of miscommunication. Because I didn't know when they were leaving, and I assumed they will be still there by evening when I'm back, but they weren't. But
Oh no.
but later it turned out they had COVID, so I
Oh,
guess that
that's
kind of saved me.
that's not good.
Well, I mean, technically, I was using a respirator, so there are chances I would not get infected even if I met them, but well, it's always
True.
a risk. So
True.
yeah.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that with us, Mayu. Would you like to move on to the questions from the audience?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, great. So we have I think we have 15 top level replies to my post. So let's go through it, shall we?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so the first question is from Yassi_gay. Oh, this is me.
Yeah, I think so.
My question to you both is that what shape would Mayu occupy? You are definitely like a dodecahedron shape. I feel like you'd fit into that shape.
Oh, that's a difficult name.
It's a polygon with 12 sides on it.
Okay. I think I found
12
it.
faces. 12 faces.
Damn. That looks like a pretty cool shape.
It's kind of like a football. It looks like it kind of is like a football.
Okay, well, I think that it's not specified how many dimensions the shape should have, so I'm gonna reply a tesseract.
Oh, so what? I would be a tesseract, or you would be a tesseract?
I would be.
You would be a tesseract. Do you think that you'd be a tesseract?
Yeah.
Okay, tesseract. Right. Sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. You can be a 4-dimensional hypercube. So then, what shape would I be?
I think you would be. Well, I'm honestly not that good at 3 and more dimensional shape names in English. Well, in Polish as well, actually. But let me think of the 2-dimensional equivalent and move on from there. Or honestly, maybe just a sphere.
I'd be a sphere?
Yeah.
Right, like the Yasphere.
Yeah. Yassi would fit into a sphere.
True. Okay, yes. No, okay, fine. I'll accept being a sphere. That's fine. The next question is from Pink Creeper 100, who is from my instance, Labyrinth.zone. You ever have moments where brain just doesn't work?
Well, to be honest, during the recording of this podcast, I had this moment multiple times, such as when I forgot whether Snowden town or Owa was first. So I would say yes, and that's proof for it. And also, I constantly keep forgetting words, even though I usually know them. So yes, my brain very much doesn't brain.
Okay, so the next statement is from me again, which is me saying yes. I avoided the unlucky number last time around just to introduce it this time around. Yes, so this episode is 13 plus 1. Last episode was 12 plus 1 to avoid the unlucky number 13, which is unlucky in English. Is it unlucky in Polish?
Well, I guess it is.
Because I know the funny number in Polish is 21 face.
Yeah, that is a very funny number. I like it.
I do remember when it's 21:37.
Sometimes.
Does that make me an RA Polish person?
Well, honestly, yeah.
Oh, good. That's great.
This is kind of
The
like
next question.
yeah, like the
Mhm.
2437 joke has been living for years, and it's kind of insane.
The next statement is from the next question. The next statement is from radioactive iso Soph, which is a great pun, and that's Sophie, by the way, who is Zavaz. How do I pronounce this?
Maybe
Zavava?
Svava, maybe.
Zvava. Okay, this is like some Central European thing that I can't pronounce.
Well, probably.
Zvava.
It does look like one.
That's Zvava at f.619.hu. And her statement is poor Mayu.
Oh.
Thank you, Soph, for that.
Why?
The next question is, I don't know why exactly. The next question is from Luna, who is at Luna at catgirl.center.
I don't know.
She asks, Hi Luna. She asks us, why are you silly?
I don't know. Honestly, maybe I was just born this way. Like, it's not my decision to make my brain just so silly and not worky sometimes, and it is wonky. And honestly, yeah, it is pretty fun sometimes. Sometimes it isn't. But I like it. That's the way I am, I guess.
Thank you, Mayu. Why am I silly? It helps me comprehend the horrors of daily existence. Real. The next question is from Emily, who is at cute _stuff at mk.absterstaub. Did I say it right?
Okay, so technically I'm not German, but I've been learning German, so I can pronounce it. Absterstaube.
Absterstaube.
Yeah.
Cool. So mk.absterstaube. What if a cute girl kissed you and cuddled you and I forgot what my question was. Sorry, colon 3.
Yeah, that's a very, very much Emily question. Holy shit.
Yeah, Emily, I wish that would happen to me. If you're a cute girl who wants to kiss me and cuddle me, please let me know as soon as humanly possible.
Yeah, to be honest, Emily is she would just cuddle every girl. Just girls though. I mean, okay, I don't know how she feels about NBs, but I know she would definitely cuddle girls. All girls.
The next question is
actually, I didn't answer the question, technically.
Oh yeah, you didn't answer the question. Sorry. What's your answer to the question?
Well,
then?
yeah, I mean, honestly, the answer would be like I would be happy, but to be honest, like kisses and cuddles are nice, but honestly, my real dream is to be riding a train at night in an empty compartment with a cute girl cuddling and her being half asleep and patting her while also wearing respirators. Yes, that would be my dream. That's yeah.
Wow, I agree with that. That's totally correct and true. The next question is from Do Not the Katie, who is at the meme sniper at wetdry.world. What's your opinions on Tim Apple's monopoly over the App Store? Very intricate question there. Mayu, do you want to answer this one first?
Well, yeah. Well, I very much do not like the walled garden of Apple. Well, Apple especially because they just put so much DRM everywhere and their systems are just so locked down. It results in stuff like I recently watched a video about Minecraft Apple TV edition. And that thing existed, but it doesn't exist anymore. And Apple TV, well, the version Apple TV was x86 based, and you can literally run Mac OS or Linux on it. So it's um it's not locked down at all. But then there are the ARM based Apple TVs with the tvOS stuff and shit, and all the locked down Apple stuff. And that was the Apple TV that Minecraft was released for. And it basically became lost media because you generally couldn't install it anymore, because the only way to install it was from the App Store, and you had to buy it in the App Store. And at some point, it was gone from the App Store. And actually, I'm not sure what happened if you had it on your account, but it was gone from the App Store. But apparently, it seemed that the only way to play it, like right now, would be to acquire an Apple TV that had it installed. And that's the only way to play Minecraft Apple TV edition. And due to its obscurity, that was very much, very hard. Let's say impossible, but it turned out someone went through the trouble of, like, someone had an Apple TV with Minecraft Apple TV edition installed on it, and they went through the trouble of extracting the
AP, well, not APK.
Well, not APK. I don't remember what the format was, but extracting the application package in any case. And it turned out that you had to have a specific jailbroken, specific version of tvOS for it to be able to jailbreak it, and only if you jailbroke it, you could install the Apple TV, the Minecraft Apple TV Edition app. But yeah, someone was lucky enough to have one that was able to be jailbroken, extract the package, and publish it for everyone to see. And if you have an Apple TV that's jailbroken, then you can play it, I guess. Although I don't know why you would do that, because apparently it's really bad. And also remember that the Apple TV has a silly remote, and how we're gonna play Minecraft on this? So yeah, that's
yeah, okay,
that's
wow.
the sort of situation that the Apple's closed garden produces. So, like, I know Apple is not the only one doing this shit. Like, there's also Google. Although technically speaking, on Android you can just easily install APK files. You don't need root for it.
Yeah, of course.
It's like easy. So, like, I very much do not like Apple for the stuff they're doing. And honestly, I was considering maybe getting an iPhone, but the lack of site loading was a big issue for me. Although apparently now they fixed that. Although it's bound to Europe, it only was if you're in Europe, so that's weird. So
yeah, and even with that, there's still, like, you still have to pay a fee to Apple for sideloaded apps for your app to. I can't remember what. Basically, if you're in Europe and you have you want to like have an alternative app on your you want to have an app on a alternative app store or whatever, you still need to pay Apple a license. And there's the cost to license your app would be extortionate, even if you had like a small amount of users. So it's Apple basically saying, "Oh yeah, we're totally complying with the law."
Yeah,
right.
That's the technology
really they're
fee
not.
thing, right?
Yeah, that's it. Technology fee. That was it. Technology fee. That's yeah. And the same is true with like the Apple, like the browser situation on iOS. So the thing is that what Apple is doing is that if you're in the EU, then you can use browsers that have their own engines. So you can use Chromium, which uses Chrome, and Firefox, which uses a Gecko, right? Yeah. So, however, what this essentially means is that each browser needs to have two separate application packages. One for all users and one for Europe with your browser engine, which means that you as a developer need to maintain two separate app versions, and only one version is allowed in Europe and one version is allowed in Europe and the rest of the world.
Damn, that's
so instead of letting everyone have access to a Gecko Firefox, only Europeans are allowed to have access to a Gecko Firefox, but they also still get the Safari-based Firefox. So now Mozilla needs to maintain a Safari-based Firefox and a Gecko-based Firefox for Android simultaneously instead of one package, and that is like just a lot of work. Even for Google, that would still be like a lot of extra work for no real benefit. Because who like the average person doesn't really care about rendering engines. So if there's a desire, like they will just install Chrome no matter what it runs underneath the hood. Like they don't care about that shit. And that's really what Apple is banking on, is that the average iPhone user won't particularly care about the way that they engage in monopolistic practices. Because the reality is that there's really only one choice if you want to make a phone, and that's Android, which therefore implies that iOS is essentially a monopoly onto itself. So I'm not like saying that iOS should run on like any phone, although it'd be cool if it did, right? But I do believe that Apple does have a very, very strong monopoly over the App Store, especially when you consider like Apple has sweetheart deals with like Netflix and Amazon and whatever to allow them to sell their own subscriptions without the same amount of fees that any other app would require. So I think the Apple tax is like 5% or whatever. And really all that gets you all that really is free money for Apple, because you still have to pay for an Apple developer account and stuff. And all Apple does is just host the App Store. Like they don't do anything really. All things considered, like it's not like obviously the other example, of course, is like console gaming, where Microsoft and Nintendo and Sony control the platform, but they do provide like a lot more to developers than Apple do to their developers for significantly, more money that they take from the average developer, right? So yeah, I think it sucks that Apple has a monopoly over the App Store, and I think it's kind of pretty sad that Apple is not playing ball with the spirit of regulation in terms of alternative app stores and alternative, side loading apps and things like that. But that's just like the Apple way. Like they need to be dragged into the 21st century or be regulated the fuck out of it. I mean, that's what happened with their latest phones with USB-C. They saw the writing on the wall. They knew that if they didn't do anything, then the EU would come down on them like a ton of bricks. And they moved before they jumped before they could get pushed by the European Commission. So I hope that in some way, like the Commission does do something about it, because it really isn't complying with the spirit, especially when the technology fees, quote unquote, that Apple are making you pay are really very quite extortionate.
Yeah, true. But honestly, I mean, Google is doing the same thing, so we shouldn't really focus just on Apple. Google is just as bad.
No. Yeah, Google is just as bad. In fact, probably worse than Apple, because like at least Apple has like a very like minimal amount of quality control, but like Google just doesn't like care about the App Store at all. I'm sorry, the Play Store.
Yeah.
Like Google just doesn't care about the Play Store at all. It is like an ad-ridden, slow piece of shit.
Yeah.
And like I hate using the Play Store. It sucks.
Yeah, true.
So bad.
Yeah, and yeah. And yet they still, if you wanna publish an app, they require you to give them your credit card and also your ID, which I really hate that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I feel like with the, I mean, Apple and Google are, in terms of the mobile space, are two sides of the same coin. They both benefit from, and the thing is that they are the kingmakers, right? Like even when Epic tried to circumvent the Play Store by essentially asking its users to sideload the Epic Game Store or whatever, that didn't work. Not only because it requires like turning on developer mode and allowing sideloading is not like a difficult task to do, but for the average user, it is an extra bit of hurdle that the Play Store and App Store do not require you to go through. So even when it is an option, people just won't take it, and that's really what it is that Google is kind of making their OS worse over time, and Apple is kind of opening up a little bit, but in a really broken way. I mean, for fuck's sake, like you can no longer change your font on Android anymore. Like, why?
Oh, really?
Why Google?
Like,
yeah.
I mean,
so
was that ever possible on stock Android?
Yeah. Oh, actually, I don't know if it was possible on stock Android. I mean, I did have because I had a HTC 10 way back, and that used like very, very close to stock Android, and you could change your font like through the system settings.
Yeah, generally, like stock ROMs shipped by phone manufacturers they're generally more or less modded Android, and they often just have a completely different font. But like my custom ROM does offer an option to change font, although it is based on Android 13, not 14. So I don't know if they changed. So no, it's actually Android 14. Holy shit! Okay, so you can still, like, with a customer, you can still change your font, I guess.
Cool. Yeah, the duopoly of Google and Apple just sucks. It just sucks.
Yeah.
I miss Windows Phone, basically. That's what I'm saying. I miss Windows Phone. Not that it probably would have made things any better, but like at least having like a third place compared to really like put the fire up the ass of the other two in some form. But anyway, oh well.
Yeah.
The next question is from Money, who is at money@snug.moe. Are we going to see the numbering scheme continue in season 2? Yeah, this is a good question. So I do plan on starting the first episode is episode 1. I will obviously keep the funny episode names, but it will be a relatively consistent numbering scheme for season 2. I really only am going to start season 2 not for like any like real bookend purpose or whatever, or like a change of pace or something. It's just because I feel like 15 is a nice round number, and also I feel like after that I'm just gonna run out of like funny episode names. What could I do for 16? Like, I don't know, Sweet 16 maybe, perhaps. But like, I really can't think of anything else. The next one is from number 0 Lightpad fan, who is at slunk at do not stare.
Oh,
OMG real.
Yeah, real.
I think they're excited that you're on the show.
I hope
it's real. This episode is real.
So yeah, I hope they're enjoying this episode. I hope they're listening to it.
The next question is from Latte Macchiato, who was at privateer at plasmatrap.com. Booba or Kiki?
Honestly, today I feel like Kiki.
I feel very Booba right now.
Yeah, that's nice.
Latte also asked another question, which was more specialized. Favorite respirator?
Oh my. Yeah, I was waiting for this question. Yeah, I just briefly mentioned respirators earlier. I did notice someone said if it's not the C50, I'm going to be upset. So I did look it up, and honestly, it is cool. Honestly, fucking sorry, hot as hell. Um, but also expensive. And
Mhm.
honestly, I haven't really been interested in full mask respirators, aka with gas mask slash stuff. But I think my favorite would be the MSA Millennium, which is the go-to drone mask. So yeah, it does look pretty cool. But that's about like full respirators, and I'm more into half masks because yeah, because I'm honestly not going into this thing from a passion for gas masks, but from just generally being concerned about getting sick at first, and then being like, holy shit, I don't like smells, and then being like, oh, I can filter out smells while looking cool. Um, so uh, yeah. So honestly, I can't say I have a favorite because I literally only have one respirator and I have not tried any other ones. Is the 3M6500 QL, which is I actually got two girls to get the same respirator as me, which is
Oh
it is
wow,
pretty funny.
that's really
I mean, okay,
cool.
those are two girls that I got to get a respirator in general. They also got the same as I have, so that's pretty funny. Um, Also, being in Europe, like the respirator availability is pretty poor. Like aside from 3M ones, the GVS one, there barely is anything. Um, there's like, well, at least in Poland, there's like one Honeywell model and one. Okay, honestly, I would have to like if I was going to talk about every respirator that I know of, I would be talking for hours. So let's just say, I do not have the MSA Advantage 900, but because it was unavailable in Poland, but this is available in Poland now. And honestly, I kind of like it because it's just pretty cool while also being small and also it has all the cool stuff being a speech diaphragm, meaning that people can hear you through it, I guess.
Okay.
And it also has source control, meaning that it has a filter on the air you exhale, which is pretty cool because respirators usually do not have that. So technically speaking, you're not protecting others very well from being infected, so that's not nice.
Right. Okay.
But there's one issue I have with it. It's that it's only compatible with P3 filter. Well, P3 or in American P100 filters, which are particulate filters, which is basically what you need to filter out all the airborne diseases and shits, and also some air pollution as well, but not all of it. And I think I think technically other filters like gas filters, I don't know if they would fit, but I saw text saying it's only meant to be used with P3 filters, particulate filters. And like that's cool, but for the smell reduction part, you generally doing something more than a P3 filter. Like I got here an A1 filter and P3. That's like the European standard for that. In
Right. Okay.
for American, it would be P100 for P3. That means that's the particulate one, and I think it's the A1 is just called OV or something like that. Yeah, like for example, the equivalent of the A1 P3 cartridge is called organic vague for car. Yeah, it's OV. So yeah, but also a cool thing about American filter ratings, well, rating standards, is that P100 filters get a pink cover, which is pretty cool because in Europe they get a white one. So yeah,
Ooh.
there's this one person on Fedi that has one. They're from America, and I guess they're pretty cool. And I don't know if they weren't the one that inspired me to finally get one, I guess. And I know they're called Chris, and they're on Tech LGBT, but I don't know their name like fully. So yeah, I don't think I can find them right now. But they're into rhythm games as well, so maybe.
Ooh, cool.
Yeah.
I love rhythm games.
So yeah, but honestly, if you want Respiro recommendations, then you should just reach out to me on Fedi. I guess. Yeah.
Great, excellent. Yeah, I know nothing about respirators, so I will defer to you on this one.
Yeah.
By the way, Evelyn at misky.bubbletea.dev asks about the C50, which you mentioned. The next question is from Kuriko, who is at Kuriko at wetdry.world. Yeah, Kuriko. So the first question from them is, why you're so cute? I was born this way.
I don't know. I'm
You are very cute.
Am I?
Yes.
Well, maybe. Well, I don't know.
The second question from Kuriko is, being the supreme leader of Republic of Yastoria / United Federation of Mayu Land, is that what it's called, Mayu?
Well, it can be called like that.
Okay. What wacky voting rules will you impose on your citizens? So my wacky voting rules, I will impose the single transferable vote system on them. That's very wacky.
Honestly, this is a pretty weird question to like ask about me having my own country, and in specific of all things that would be like wacky in my country, you're asking about the voting rules of them all. So yeah, wacky voting rules. Well, I guess I'll just make it so that. Okay, I would make it so that you can only vote for me, but that would make me a dictator. But I don't know. I guess it is.
Yeah.
It is my.
I mean, I guess that is pretty wacky, right?
That's pretty wacky. But what if I'm not around anymore? Because I know you can trust me, of course, with being your leader. But I don't know. What about like?
What if you go on holiday?
Yeah.
Like, what happens then?
So
Exactly.
yeah, that's why I don't know if that's a good idea. Well, so maybe let's just say that. That's actually a really difficult question because I can't come up with anything. And yeah, that's a tricky one. This is probably the hardest question out of them all.
That's funny. Do you want to move on to the next question while you think?
I mean, I could think about it, but that's gonna take a few, at least a few seconds. But well, let's say that, like if I'm not around, then you're just getting to vote for several nerdy, cute, trans girl adjacent creatures, I guess.
Great. The next question is from Chloe, who is at Chloe at catwithaclary.net. That's because Chloe has a clarinet. For both of you, how does it feel to be such cuties? Well, we have already answered this in the previous question, but it feels great. Thank you very much, Chloe.
I mean, like I don't. Okay, let's say I'm cute, and how do I feel with that? I feel pretty good. Honestly, I like it.
Good. The second question from Chloe is, do you think the average fedi user should be aware of fedi history, and how important do you think it is to know about past fedi stories? Yeah, that is a good question. It's a very complex one, I think. I feel like, to me, the average user... Hang on, sorry, my chair is stuck again. To me, I feel like the average user should just not care, really, to be honest. Like, I think, I mean, in terms of what do you define as the average user, of course, but also most importantly, knowing fedi history won't necessarily make your fedi experience better, per se. I mean, like, if you know about things that happened beforehand, then obviously that gives you, like, cultural context, I guess. But really, ultimately, it doesn't, like, matter, like, in a grand scheme of things. Like, if you're here to post to make friends, then it doesn't really matter, like, what happened in the past. What matters is what happens in the future. And people will reference the past, of course. But that's just like how things work in any kind of society, I suppose.
Hmm. Well, to be honest, when we're talking about like an average fedi user, then I don't think it really matters if they know all the meta stuff. Honestly, well, especially since it makes a lot of people be tired of fedi in general, because it is one of the less nice things about it. So I think if someone doesn't wanna know, then they shouldn't. Like, yeah, I wouldn't force anyone to learn the history, unless they're an instance admin. In that case, that would be pretty useful. Yeah, to know all the how the fedi block stuff works and who not to listen to. Yeah. So, I would say it is still interesting stuff, and if someone wants to know, it should be like this knowledge shouldn't be gate capped. But I don't think I don't think if someone doesn't want to learn it, they shouldn't feel out of place. They should be that should be fine.
Yeah, cool. I think we agree on that one then. The next question is from right. So how do you pronounce this person's name, Mayu?
Oh yeah, that one. So that would be Luna Jelenia. Because because Jelenia comes from Polish. Well, it is easy to pronounce it like it's Polish. Jelen means deer. So Jelenia means like, yeah, it is like a adjective
Oh, that's
for
cute.
deer, I guess. Although the thing is that Jelen is also used as a slightly derogatory word for someone that's not too smart. So I don't mean it that way, but
Of course,
but
of course.
honestly, no one. I really don't think anyone uses it seriously. Like, it's kind of a joking thing between friends at this point. So yeah, Luna Jelenia.
Favorite fedi bot?
Oh well, that depends if you mean like an automated bot or a robot
Uh,
creature. Because in terms of bot,
What's your favorite automated account then?
well, an automated account that would be Yuribot. I think I prefer the one that's yeah, Yuribot.
Yeah, my favorite fedi bot is well, I think everyone knows by now. If you don't know, then well, I'm surprised by your lack of knowledge. So she also asks us for any music recommendations and what have we been listening to lately. So I mean, I always recommend Blossom by Symphion because it is my theme tune, but very recently I've been listening to the album Transatlanticism by Def Cab for Cutie, released in 2003. So I think it is a great album sonically, in a way. Like, it is it is a very good. It is one of those albums I think that has like every kind of emotion in it. Like, so example, the title track, Transatlanticism, it kind of is like a very sweet but also melancholic song at the same time. Like, I feel like if you're in a good position, that song would be good, and if you're in a not so good position, that song would not be so good. It feels like, and there's a lot of other songs in the album that like have this kind of complex but yet contradictory feelings to them. Like the other one, for example, is Title and Registration, which is just, to me, is a very emotionally raw. So I mean, all the songs are emotionally raw, but to me, Title and Registration is personally very, very. It speaks to me in a very, very personal way that I can't quite articulate clearly. But it feels like every song on this album is like relatable to you at some point in your life. Like that's how it feels. Like there's a song on this album for any moment you are or any moment you will be. And I highly recommend you listen to it, preferably all in one go. Like it's not strictly a concept album, but I feel like the impact of it is made much better by going through it all, in just one sitting. And yeah, I feel like it's a masterpiece, and it is that kind of like early 2000s like emo kind of. I mean, I would hardly call them emo. Like I feel like even though they were a band associated with that kind of emo circle, I wouldn't think that they're emo. Like they are beyond that. And even though the album is over 20 years old, it still feels really fresh, unlike most other stuff that was released around about the same time. So yeah, that's my recommendation to you listening.
Meow. Well, lately I've been listening to quite a lot of stuff, like quite a lot of different stuff. Like, generally speaking, in the recent few months, I've been introduced to metal by my friend Avery, which is very cool. And honestly, I like her a lot. She really has like great music recommendations. But I was also recommended a few more stuff by Emma. Emma from Femdom Solutions.
Oh
She's
yes, she's great.
she's also cool. Um. So yeah. Recently, it's been like generally I listen to a lot of stuff like I said metal, but that's the most recent addition. But also like generally J-pop, J-core, and breakcore mostly.
Mm-hmm.
So if I had to give any recommendations, I could either make it short or talk for quite a long time. So let's go for something in between. Okay, maybe not that long, but lesser known metal. Well, I think it's metalcore album by it's Angel Kilo Zero by Diamond Construct. It's been recommended to me by my friend, and it is honestly it is pretty edgy, but I like it. I love it actually. I like it. I love it a lot. So
Good.
I very much do recommend this one. I also would recommend. Generally, I would recommend Spirit Box. Spirit Box is like awesome stuff, and they also have a female vocalist, so that's cool as well. Um, I think my favorite song of theirs would be Holy Roller. Um, and one other band that I absolutely love would be Make Them Suffer. So yeah, that would be Diamond Construct, Spirit Box, Make Them Suffer. There's a lot more. If you want, you can reach out to me on Fedi. I can talk for a little bit more. I can also recommend some breakcore or Japanese stuff in general. So yeah.
Great, thank you for sharing with us. Okay, so the next question is from Mahababa, who is at kumis.industries. Why is there no milk?
Because I went to the store and had a and had a panic attack, and then I couldn't, and then
Oh god.
I didn't know what the cashier was talking to me, and I lost the milk on the way home. That's okay. That actually does remind me of that one. Well, okay, what I just said is actually a reference to that game, Milk Inside a Bag of Milk, Inside a Bag of Milk, that I very much recommend. Actually, there are two parts to this game. There's one is called Milk Inside a Bag of Milk, Inside a Bag of Milk. There's Milk Outside a Bag of Milk, Outside a Bag of Milk. I don't know which one is the first one. The first one is much shorter, and probably fewer people have played it. I have fully played the shorter one, and the longer one not fully yet. So yeah, but Milk-chan is very much me. So yeah, that's why there's no milk.
Yeah. So the reason why there's no milk is because it just happens. Sorry, Mia. Sorry, Mira. It just happens. There's just no milk. I drank it all. It's all gone. You know, it actually is kind of interesting how lactose intolerance is a natural thing. Like you are naturally supposed to lose tolerance for lactose as you become an adult. So being tolerant of lactose, as in being able to drink milk as an adult, is an aberration. And so us here in Europe are more lactose tolerant than in other places like Africa or South Asia or East Asia, for example.
Yeah.
This is because here in Europe it's cold a lot, and warm cow's milk is warm, so you can drink it in the winter time, and we breed cows for consumption regardless anyway. And so that's why Europeans have a greater tolerance for lactose. Whereas in other cultures, like in Africa and in Asia especially, lactose tolerance is a lot lower because they never needed to drink cow's milk in the same way. And that's why, all the great cheeses are European. Like, we just fucking love cheese because we love cows and love milk.
Yeah.
So my ancestors, my grandparents and whatever, back in Bangladesh, there's only one type of cheese, which is paneer. Like, that's the only cheese they have, and it's not even made from cows, it's made from goats. So here in Europe, you can get all kinds of cheeses. I mean, in the supermarket, in my fridge right now, there's 5 different types of cheeses, right there. There's mozzarella, cheddar, red Leicester, Gloucester, and feta right there in my fridge. That's 5 types of cheeses.
Nice.
Nice. I love cheese.
Hey,
right?
I'm hungry now.
The idea of drinking cow's milk as an adult is an aberration. You're not supposed to really do that. But hey, we just basically being able to drink milk is essentially a biohack.
Yeah, let's go.
It is a biohack that is like millennia old, all because we love drinking cow's milk in the winter.
Yeah, nice.
So the next question is from Mage Gamer, who is at gamer@bungle.online, who, by the way, mixes and masters this podcast.
Yeah, good luck with my audio.
Question for both of us. For a question for both of us, gaming. Yes, gaming indeed.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not that big of a gamer, but I'm just a little bit of a gamer. I did mention a game already before, but so I like playing games with friends when I have someone to play with. That's nice. But one game I played recently that I really like is Paper Lily. It's absolutely awesome. It's pretty short, it's like a horror RPG in anime style. That's the story is honestly it is really good. It made me cry. I absolutely love it. So yeah, Paper Lily, please do. I don't know how to describe it better. I guess just look it up. Maybe you'll like it. It's awesome.
Cool. Cool, that's great. I will look it up. Paper Lily. Okay, and the last but not least question is from is this one of your friends?
Yes.
So this is Hannah, who is at Hannah K Ori with a 0 instead of an O at mass.to. Hi, :3. My questions are, yeah, I'm not going to pronounce this. Billy C.W. Sekol, Ros Miar Capsia.
Yeah. Okay. Honestly, this question is like Mayu lore.
Okay. What does it say?
Well, does it say when the first? It's two questions. One is, did they bully you at school, and the other is your shoe size. And okay, this seems pretty ridiculous, but that's actually some reference to my pretty old lore.
Right, okay.
So like back in like a few years ago, I used to do this like, well, it wasn't me, but I was one of the people involved in it. This podcast small thingy in the Discord server, and the questions that would be often asked that I'm actually not sure if I came up with those, but they would always be asked are those two questions. And to be honest, I wouldn't ask them again. I feel like they aren't really appropriate to ask to someone you don't really know. But okay, like I wouldn't ask them like to someone, but you can ask them to me because I very much yeah, I mean I am fine with answering this question. Well, okay. Honestly, the thing is the people that were doing this thing with me, I have not talked to them in like a long time. And everyone that knows about that thing and knows my fedi to ask those questions, I was honestly surprised when I saw that, being like, holy shit, huh? How they huh? Like, it's been years. And I think I have in mind two people that it can be. I actually don't know which one of my friends it is, but I know it is definitely one of my friends. Just I don't of my past friends that I probably have not talked to in a really, really long time. And well, one of them is a trans girl that's like I wasn't really that good friends with her, but she, I mean, I don't know, it does kind of have her vibes. But the other person that I actually know that they know my fedi, and they also recently, well, like a few months ago, they just disappeared and like saying to me that they don't wanna have contact with me for reasons that's
wow.
like due to their like mental health reasons and stuff, like not really my fault.
Okay.
But the thing is, they, I didn't, well, I knew them not as a trans girl, which, but
Right, okay.
I would say that I would know that they would remember that, and they know my fedi like account. They can find it. The other person, I'm not sure if they could find it. Possibly if they asked the other person, then yeah, but I'm not sure. I'm really not sure which one that is. And even if there's, I mean, there's a possibility I'm forgetting about someone, and that's them. And I'm very sorry if that's the case. But I mean, I really appreciate that. But the thing is, the other person, well, they did have eggy vibes to me. They were they're pretty much my best friend for years, but they disappeared recently, and they didn't really come out to me or anything. So if that's them, then I'm like, oh my god, holy shit! Like, I like, I'm so happy for you, but like, no, like genuinely, I would, I would honestly wish wish them that they find themselves. And I'm not saying that they're definitely a trans girl. I mean, I don't know if it's them. That's the weirdest part about it. But if it's them, then holy shit! I'm really happy for them. And honestly, if even if it's someone else, then I only know one trans. Well, I only out of my friends, only one I knew as a trans girl. All the other ones must have transitioned. Would have had to transition when, well, after we didn't talk anymore. So of course I'm very happy for them. But even for the trans girl, if that's the one trans girl that I did know, then I'm still happy for her because she's cool as well, honestly. And but yeah, genuinely, I really do wonder who that is because I don't have a clue.
Oh, okay. So you don't know who Hannah is?
I don't know. I just know it must be one of my friends from that period.
Okay. Oh, right. So this is not a person who follows you, right?
Nah.
This is just some random person who came across this post?
No. This is a person that knew me like years ago. And
what the fuck? Okay.
Yeah.
That's wow. Oh, okay, right. I get it now. Because I was thinking, oh, okay, so they've been following you for a while. No, so this is just some person who just found this post and they've asked you this question.
I mean, they knew from the past, so I would assume there are only like very few people that would still remember that. So they probably were They definitely were once a really good friend of mine.
Okay, cool. Well, to answer the questions, which is, was I bullied at school? Yeah, I guess I was. And my shoe size, was it?
Yeah.
My shoe size is size, UKT. So I'm a UK size 10, which is a size 43 in Europe.
Okay, so for me to answer that, I guess this is finally my turn to answer those questions after all those years. So did they bully me at school? To be honest, they actually didn't. Like the only sort of harassment that I got was near the end when I was just wearing a mask and some people were like, "Oh, COVID! Oh my god, I'm sick." Yeah, just stupid people like that. And shoe size, well, it is European size 42.
Cool.
Yeah.
And that's all the questions.
Yeah, that's it.
We did it. We made it.
Yeah.
Fantastic. That's brilliant. Okay, great. So, I mean, that's the end of the episode then, I guess.
Damn, I didn't fall
Unless there's
asleep.
anything else you wanna Unless there's anything else you wanna talk about?
I mean, to be honest, my brain was a little bit silly in some moments, so I feel like someone may misunderstand something I said, like, especially I would say about the relationship parts, because yeah, my brain is too silly to talk about that. Like, because like there are some people crushing on me. They can be listening to this, and I'm basically what I tell them is to be believed more than what I'm saying here, just in case. Because
right, sure, of course. No, that makes sense. Okay, well, this was a lovely episode. I enjoyed having you on the show with me, Mayu. I really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, I really like.
Did you have?
Yeah, I really like being on the Ask, and I'm yeah, really, really glad to have been here. And I'm gonna brag to all my friends that I've been on the Ask Us now, and I'm gonna tell them to watch the episode. And if
that's great,
yeah, please do. If you want, please do reach out to me for recipe recommendations or music recommendations or the mysterious friend from years ago. I don't know. I'm not sure which one it is, but if you wanna let me know which one you are, then please do.
Great. Well, there you go. If you are the mysterious friend from Mayu's past, then please let Mayu know more about it. But thank you very much, Mayu, for appearing on to this episode. The outro is always the hardest part of each show. As you probably are aware of trying to listen to the end at the end of each episode. Anyway, so this has been episode 13 plus 1 with me, Yaseen, who is at Yassi_J at labyrinth.zone, with today's special lovely guest, Mayu, who is at Mayu at ekin.how.
Meow.
So meow from Mayu there. I'm glad you had fun, Mayu. I certainly did have fun interviewing you. You were a lovely guest.
Oh.
This episode this episode was directed, hosted, produced, edited by me, Yaseen. The guest was Mayu. The episode was mixed and mastered by Gamer at bungle.online. This episode was sponsored for £5 by Robin, who is at Lenovo ThinkBad at labyrinth.zone. If you do wish to sponsor the episode, there is a Ko-fi link down in the description of this show, I think. You can get me to say anything you want within reason. Although I don't know what could be worse than like shilling for free market capitalism. This episode was filmed in front of a live firing squad.
Deal.
Like a firework squad. You know, I don't even know what I was going for there. Let's just stick with the firing squad. That's good night from me, Yaseen.
Good night.
Good night. The end. You